Hi friends, I'm Mark Laliberte, a visual artist and poet.
And I'm Jade Wallace, a poet and short fiction writer.
We work individually on our own creative practices, but also together as MADE, writing poetry collaboratively under this moniker since 2018. When we first started writing together, we were living on opposite sides of Toronto, and we were always working online and at a distance from one another.
Now we live in our house in Windsor, Ontario, where we are currently sequestered with our cat and dog, and where our new favorite hobbies are washing our hands and asking, can you get COVID from that? Our writing these days is marked by a different kind of distance. Distance from our friends, family, neighbors, and literary community.
But we've been doing our best to make good use of our time in isolation. Today, we will be reading 3 poems for you from our new chapbook manuscript, ZEO, which we just put together to answer a call for submissions that caught our eye in our feed only days ago. It's been one of the few good things to come out of this whole self-isolation predicament. We've wanted to edit our poems into a book-length sequence for a while, and ironically, it's only during this moment of crisis that we found time together to stay home, focus on art making, and expand on this collaborative work.
The poems we're going to read for you today, Blue Sunlight, Extremophile, and Pitch Down Bay, all have animals in them. Some of these animals are out in the open, some may be hiding. You'll have to listen closely or you'll miss them.
Blue Sunlight. The tent was an island, rooted in a bitter sea.
Sometimes it's better to be sweet.
But others, the dark greens, are the only ones that will grow.
So we grind them between our teeth or fluff them to a cover on the ground.
Fuel, blood, water, and milk all spill the same way.
But only one will stoke a fire.
Black is an absence.
Or is it a harbinger?
It takes you in, feather of a corvid's wing, with which you write your name and leave it for someone to find.
Lost senses pulse or lull alongside.
Everything else, just horizon.
Restless, we blew the sky together.
The sea is not bitter,
but jealous of those who don't swallow their treasures. Next poem is Extremophile.
Water enough to withstand boiling, bare enough to outlast the frigidity of space, not adapted to exploit these conditions, only to endure them, slow walking.
If a caterpillar met a manatee on the eve of the apocalypse and schemed to outlast everything but the sun, they would become a much smaller creature than anyone expected.
Creator of all things incognito, tried to exert their will on it, but it would not take shape.
So tardigrade becomes retrograde, desiccating into glass and then waiting for resurrection.
Our final poem is called Pitch Down Bay. The small sound of a falling snowflake, slow it down, low frequency rumble of a whale, both melting into the ocean, in time, the water glowing as bright as lanterns, and sailors drowning as if they'd seen lighthouses, more lost men entering from the shore's mouth, that emptiness between the stars, pupils compensating for this hard blanket of deadlight night, still surrounded by silent shorebirds, nested, watching, stinging the surface of the water like quickening nicks when they alight.
We hope that you've enjoyed this virtual trip to the zoo with MADE,
and that you're finding new and creative ways to use your hours during these strange times.
Bye everyone!